Will we have an iconic Winter Cup series? Hello and welcome to the Wednesday preview. My name is James Broadhurst. I'm joined by Troy Ironack. Troy, we've got two iconic dogs, no relation, that figure to be very prominent in this upcoming Winter Cup series, don't we?
We do, and we have a number of other contenders as well.
Great series.
One returning tonight, which I'm excited to see what it does. But yeah, very hot series coming up during winter.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 heats. I was surprised they actually got 3 heats, not full fields, but every heat is stacked with talent, and looking forward to this series. It's going to be an absolute beauty. Why don't we have a look at one of these iconics, Troy? Iconic Guess. Of course, a dog that's in really good form at the moment. Probably, I'm going to make this claim, the most improved dog going around in WA at the moment. Won 6 straight. Let's have a look at his last win. This was at Cannington 2 weekends ago. This is him out of box 5, absorbing a little bit of pressure early and then emerging from the traffic to take the lead and take control on the way to another victory.
Well back in the field was Tarawai. Back with it was Spencer and also Aston Nero. Timmy Tesla's midfielders. They go off the back. Iconic Guess is the leader. Out by 3 lengths. Our Aussie Salute has to dig deep and then followed by Bezeki to the outside on straightening though. Iconic Guess is flying at the moment and wins again.
Let's have a look at the opening heat now, and Iconic Guess comes into this really talented field from box 6. Not great, but has a vacant draw on the inside, which will help out. And look who is in box 1. Troy, you alluded to this dog just before. West on Sydney. Remember him, the one-time future megastar. Well, still might be. We don't know. The potential's there for sure. As you mentioned, goes around in race 5 tonight at Cannington, so we'll get a look at the dog before he goes into this heat series. It's going to be his first run since February. That was in a Perth Cup prelude, so really interested to see how this dog goes over the next over this week. Troy, got Our Aussie Salute out of box 2 here, last start winner, continues to race in pretty good touch, got to say. Might vie for the lead along with the dog next door over in box 3, Sunset Clarice, which will potentially have something to say who leads this race here. Clarice didn't fire in last week's West Chase final, but certainly a chance to turn things around here. And then in box 8, we've got a query runner here. I've got a couple of question marks around this dog, Bezeki. What's this dog going to do? In fact, what is the main chances in this one, Troy, in your opinion?
I think you've touched on, to be honest.
Yep.
Bezeki is just an interesting runner. I'm not sure what we're going to get or expect.
We don't know where the dog's at.
No,
really.
It's hard to sort of figure that one. Much like West on Sydney too. I have to assume, though, that the fact it's been nominated for tonight's race and then backed up into this Winter Cup heat, that connections feel that Greyhound must be right back in contention to go from a graded race into a open series. Excited to see what this Greyhound does, West on Sydney, because fresh tonight, does it get out a bit cleaner? Does it get a bit more momentum early? Does it put itself in the race a bit earlier?
Yeah.
Is it right for the 500-metre trip? We know it's super strong, so I almost think it's going to be spot on for the 500-metre trip. And the Britton Holst camp wouldn't have it in if it wasn't ready to go. So excited by that Greyhound. Clarice, I think, is your leader. I think it with a usual jump, it probably leads.
Okay.
Now, it's got to jump at its usual.
Yep.
It can be a bit off sometimes. An Iconic Guess. Look, the Greyhound's just in brilliant form, going terrific for the Robertson Kennel. What more can you say? But
it's another step up, isn't it?
This is a more slightly difficult task. You've got a couple of dogs with pace and you've got a couple of dogs with strength. So Iconic Guess isn't going to get its own way all the way. But a very open race, a very interesting one, with a number of runners that have got big question marks on them as must watch.
All right. Brilliant opening heat for
Great
the
opening
Winter
heat.
Cup.
I mean, what a field.
Hard one to pick. I'm actually going to not choose a winner out of this because there's a few in there that are viable here.
Sorry, I didn't touch on Aussie Salute either, which I obviously feel can contend as well, but I'm just not sure where it's going to land with either Clarice jumping on the outside of it or Sydney pushing up behind it. And I'm just worried that Sydney sits behind it, he might get over the top of it.
All right, let's swing our attention now, Troy, to the second heat. Before we do that, we're going to have a look at the other big named Iconic here, isn't it iconic, as Alanis Morissette once said? She didn't, but that's the joke. Iconic Jet, last time we saw this dog was 3 weeks ago at headquarters. Let's go back and have a look at the run, and we saw him back to somewhere near his best, if not his best, from box 4. He's away well, scoots past Timmy Tesla on his inside to grab the lead and control the race before kicking away to a big victory in 29.67.
Down the back, Iconic Jet on the arm, skipped away out by 5, Timmy Tesla, Aston Nero, then followed by Just a Piastri, who's well back with Pam keeping, but off the back, and Iconic Jet's in full flight, out by 7 or 8 lengths on Timmy Tesla and Aston Nero as they swing. Iconic Jet goes back to back and wins by 9.5 lengths on Aston Nero.
Let's bring up the field for Heat 2 here, and Iconic Jet gets the lemon, but I think he'll be okay from out there on this occasion. He's got that slow beginner on his inside, Burnt Passion, and vacant draws all around him here, so should be left alone early and give him that chance to wind up. That step or two he needs to wind up, which I think is going to be a big advantage for him here. The big danger, though, of course, is out of box 2 here, Troy. Sunset Caligula didn't jump in that West Chase final last week, but still fought on well to grab second place there. Can't see him missing at box rise 2 weeks in a row, so I'm expecting him to be right up there in this race. Is this a 2-dog race between those two? And if not, who have I missed here?
I'm going to throw one other one out.
Yep.
I do think this race looks, if Jet's at his best, he's going to be very, very tough to beat, I think, because we know how fast he can be and he's going to get room to move. Caligula, obviously huge respect for Greyhound on the rise, and like you said, I think it's going to begin better this week. It just has to, be odd to see it miss it 2 weeks in a row, and if it does, warning signs for where it's heading. But Fleetwood Kazakh saw it return at Mandurah in very, very good time.
Now, we discussed it.
We had discussed this Greyhound, and obviously didn't get the job done last start, but comes to Cannington where it has won a feature race, Puppy Classic I think it might have been, or one of those races, or Young Stars, I think it was Puppy Classic. Very capable Greyhound, returned from a fair bit of time off when it won at Mandurah, draws the red here, can excel from the red, keep it very safe, because we know it can run time. And if it happens to get push up and just Caligula doesn't quite get it right, and the Jet don't quite get it right, this Greyhound could find the arm and be something at big odds.
But it is a smoky, but it's just
a smoky.
Such
I'm not
a hit and miss dog for
I'm
me,
not suggesting for a second that Kazakh is going to challenge Caligula and Jet at their best in this race if they jump well and get on the arm. But I am saying that if those two dogs happen to do something slightly off, Kazakh is drawn beautifully to try and do something and cause an upset.
All right, where are you going? Where are you leaning? Another difficult race, isn't it?
I can't split Caligula and Jet. I think whoever leads is probably going to win. I think if the Jet leads, it wins. I think if Caligula leads, it wins. That's kind of where I'm at with it. So on that basis, because Caligula's drawn on the inside, I'm probably leaning towards Caligula, but I'm not confident in leaning one way or the other. I'm probably getting splinters here and some major ones because I'm stuck on the fence.
Right, well, you're leaning Caligula, I'll lean the other way. Iconic.
If Jet jumps as best as what it can, then yeah, he should be winning this race. But it's just hard sometimes to know how the Jet's going to go.
Right, there we go. That is the second heat. Let's swing our attention now to the third heat of the Winter Cup. And in box 1 is Frogs Manelli, one of our favourites, Troy. Wonderful to see him back in the winner's circle at Mandurah last week. Snapped a 13-race losing sequence. He had box 1 last week, gets it again here. Can he get the same result? At the other end of the boxes, we've got another last start winner here. Tattooed Beast produced his best run at Cannington to date. Once again, jumped from a wide draw, and on that occasion he led all the way. Can he do that again in this heat here? And then, of course, in box 2, we have the West Chase winner, Troy. Just a Piastri. What a performance that was. Just a Piastri, reminding us how good he can be. Let's revisit the run, and Just a Piastri is in the lemon here, out of box 5, but puts the foot down when the lids flip open. He sweeps across to the front and proves to be too good to catch.
Up on the inside was Gideon Manelli, and then followed by Ramirez Manelli. Dipper Manelli well back in the field, and Justa Sapphire, but Justa Piastri leads off the back by 2. Sunset Caligula runs on. In behind them was Justa Foreman, and then followed by Gideon Manelli as they swing onto the corner. Justa Piastri in front. Sunset Caligula coming at the leader. Justa Piastri's fighting though. Holt does it again. 7 West Chase finals.
What do you think, Troy? Can Justa Piastri repeat the dose here in this third heat?
Yeah, I think it can. We spoke about this greyhound last week in the West Chase final, and I did say keep it very safe because while it was drawn awkwardly, it was capable of its heat runs to really perform well. And it's a greyhound that has got a lot of upside. We know it's very capable. And I love Frogs Manelli. Enigmatic is probably underselling this greyhound. He is very difficult to catch. But I just, look, when you can catch him, it's worthwhile because you get a little bit of a price. But I have to lean towards Piastri because it's in form and the greyhound is going so consistently at the moment. But Frogs, we just know if it lands on the arm and leaps out of the box as well, he could be very, very strong and hard to catch. And I just he's hard to have though. I've got so much belief in the dog.
That losing sequence, it was probably not as bad as what it seemed because there was a lot of runner-ups.
It's not, but the runs that he's put in, some of them have been disappointing,
right,
and some of them have been electric. And when he's landed on the arm and got going, and you see him at his best, he's like, "Gee, this dog's
could be anything." He's
genuine. And then you see other runs, and you're like, "Oh, it's the same dog. Are we looking at the same dog?" So it's just hard to trust sometimes. I think they're the two.
Can he turn into a prince, Troy?
You're gonna go kiss him?
Well, I'm not, but I'm just the question. Can he? Can he? Like, we're waiting for you, Frogs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't know.
Look, you're on Piastri. I'm the same.
I'm on Piastri, but I'm keeping Frogs so safe. Like, if I'm having a bet in this race, I am keeping Frogs very, very safe because he is the one that I think could cause the upset. If there is one to Piastri.
If there is an upset. But no, I got to stick with Piastri here. Too good last week. Beat a really good field and can follow.
But it's a great heat because they're well drawn, these two. They're ideally situated with a vacant box outside of Piastri, so it gets a bit of room. There's other runners in the race that obviously, like Tesla, can show pace. Tattooed Beast, be interested to see what it does. But I think pound for pound on paper, I don't know if they can match Frogs and Piastri at this point. So very hard to go past those two.
All right, there we go. Those are the 3 heats of the Winter Cup at Cannington on Saturday night. What a great series that is. Make sure you get down and get involved in that. What about, Troy, what happened over in Queensland last weekend? We saw Miss Envy strutting her stuff. Let's have a look at her run in the Queensland Cup, winning the Group 1 Queensland Cup, becoming only the second dog in the history of greyhound racing to win Group 1s over 500, 600 and the 700 metres.
Miss Envy leads at the judge a lap out without a trace, up on the outside a length away. 3 lengths then to Moet Magic. On a forward move, Magpie Hector, followed by Mapunga Breeze. Then came Aiden's Warrior. Power Squeeze finds the fence and well back Mapunga Lara. Off the back, Miss Envy 2 in front, over without a trace. Then Magpie Hector, Miss Envy in front. She's going to win the Queensland Cup and gets the trilogy of distance Group 1s.
Where does she sit now, Troy? In the pantheon of WA greyhound chasing history. We've got an article from Brett Honey in The Chase claiming that she might be up there, better than Tommy Shelby potentially, maybe up there for the best of all time that's been produced in WA.
Yeah, look, they're hard calls to make, and they're probably a journalist call to make at this point in time.
Well, it's just speculative. It's fun to talk about.
I mean, it's fun to talk about, but I'd rather look at the greyhound career at the end of its career and then make an assessment rather than during the career. What she's done has been incredible to win a Group 1 over 5, 6 and 700. Not as you've mentioned, not many greyhounds can do that at all. And it was the way she did it the other night too. I was over in Queensland in Brisbane for the race. That actual Queensland Cup was a super strong field. When you look at the greyhounds that have been performing over their staying trip of late, Without a Trace challenged her early, put the pace on. You had numerous other greyhounds stalking from behind, and she just landed on the arm, crossed, and never looked like getting caught after that. She was just too strong on the arm. Incredible run. We've spoken about what she could be over 700 and been hanging on for that run. We saw it in the heat. She did it beautifully. There's always that question mark, do they flatten themselves a little bit after that first one? Absolutely not with her. She seems to run it easy, did it terrific, and congrats to the Shinners. But, James, that wasn't their only winner on the card.
No, they had another one.
They had another one, a little greyhound called Sharma, who I think might have introduced himself to Australia on that platform because there was many people who were captivated by that run, and let's check it out right now.
Racing now. Charmer slow, near last away, and Grace Isle as normal began fast to lead over Zipping Shabed. Kenya Dynamite down the outside, going wide. There was Miss Bear. She was checked to the rear together with Charmer. Running down the back, and the leader is Grace Isle by 2.5. Zipping Shabed running through Gold Star Sid, then Kenya Dynamite. 6 lengths away, Charmer, followed by Penny Calito, Sunlit Amber, and Miss Bear before the corner. In front, Grace Isle. Zipping Shabet runs on. So does Charmer, but in front, Grace Isle. Charmer dive. That's close.
So an incredible run there, James, by Sharma. Flew home, stormed home after a terrible start and then finding trouble.
Sounds familiar. We've seen that over here.
He's that type of greyhound, but to actually display that on a night like that, on a Brisbane Cup night, and to get there right in the line, there was still speculation about whether he got there. I was pretty confident, I will say. And I might have been bragging that the WA dog had got up, but just out of enthusiasm for what this dog could be, because of how incredible that run was and how incredible this greyhound's motor is. Shinners have got, obviously, Miss Envy in the kennel, who now has put herself up as a stayer. This could be their very next stayer if this greyhound can keep doing what he's doing.
Two wonderful dogs, different ends of their career. Obviously, Miss Envy's proven. We don't know how far Sharma will go, but if Sharma can get half as the distance that, or the achievements that Miss Envy's done, that's going to be a really good dog, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just exciting to watch a greyhound. I mean, we all love greyhounds that, can find the arm and win, and from a punny's perspective, it takes a bit of stress off when they land on the arm. But as a spectacle, we love seeing greyhounds come from behind. And even when I was watching that race live, as I said, I was in Brisbane for it with Sharma, and as he come off the back, a few people that I was standing with actually said, "Oh, he might run a place here," and I said, "Hang on, he's still got a bit more to give yet. Just wait." And that captivates people because it's what greyhound racing is incredible to see, when greyhounds can do that against other greyhounds, and the power and strength they've got like him is just incredible. But just a quick one also, congrats to Consigliere, who also won the Brisbane Cup that night, just holding off Cumbria Jack, who was storming home as well. So a great night, and well done to Queensland.
Yes, indeed. And also looking forward to seeing Miss Envy and Sharma back here in WA.
Miss Envy,
sooner rather than later.
Miss Envy in the national distance now?
Yeah, that's the plan, I believe, yeah.
Interesting.
And potential for more history to be made there.
Well, we know she goes terrific at Sandown. We saw that 5.95 run previously in her career, where she absolutely flew. So Sandown poses no trouble to her if she can get through.
We got to get through a WA final.
No, I said she's got to get through, but she could be a worthy contender based on we know she already loves Sandown.
Of course, yeah.
So it's an exciting time for WA Greyhound Racing that she or any other rep who can get through, but she would be a worthy contender.
Absolutely, yeah. All right, looking forward to seeing both Miss Envy and Sharma back here in WA, hopefully sooner rather than later. Also, Troy, looking forward to this big event that's coming up in Box 1 Restaurant. In fact, we don't have to look too far ahead because it starts this Saturday night, Christmas in July.
Christmas is here?
Christmas is here, Troy. Well, you wouldn't have thought so. Yeah, it's the elves are still working on it, Troy. It takes a while to compact that, the the material into making a lump of coal.
I feel like this is the same excuse you gave me in December, but okay. Still waiting.
Starts this Saturday night, 18th of July. Also, Saturday, the 25th of July. Plenty of fun to be had down at Cannington in Box 1 restaurant for Christmas in July, Troy.
Great night. Come down. Plenty of grass area for the kids.
Yeah.
The kids can run around and have a ball. The parents can have a drink and a feed, and entertainment with the racing on track.
Yeah, and over the next 2 weeks, you got this Winter Cup series, which is an absolute beauty.
Worth coming for on its own.
Yep. All right, for bookings, Box 1 at greyhoundswa.com.au.
Any greyhound touring and reindeer?
Maybe. Maybe.
Have you delivered on that at all at
No.
any point at
No,
this
no.
stage? No. Okay, so unlikely. Unlikely is probably the correct term.
Probably unlikely, yeah.
Okay.
All right, but plenty of other good stuff happening for sure, Troy, including plenty of good stuff happening at the track tonight. Because
Yes,
we've got a race
yes.
meeting, Troy. 11 races, 6:22 free entry as it is each and every night here at Greyhounds WA. And you got your tip is a dog we've already discussed, isn't it?
Yeah, look, tough program tonight. I think there's some really even racing going on, and probably some that if you can find the winners, you're going to get a bit of value about runners. Mine, not so much, but I'm excited to see what this greyhound does, and we've spoken about him. Race 5, number 8, West on Sydney, returning tonight. So tonight's his return run before he goes into those heats on Saturday. It's drawn out in the pink. It does pose a little bit of an issue because we know he's not the most reliable beginner, great beginner at all sometimes, but his engine is huge. We know he can storm home. I'm hoping that, I believe he's going to be spot on for this race because Britton and Holst wouldn't have this greyhound in if the team didn't think it was ready. But I like the fact that this greyhound could be a little bit fresh, might just put itself in the race. Choosing Texas on the inside, I think, can begin well and could give him a bit of room if he can just come out clean. There is some risk to this greyhound. There's going to be no value, I know that, but I think he's a big watch because whatever he does here could dictate how good an outcome he could be on Saturday night where he's drawn better. The other runner in the race, Incredible Rogue, is another one who's been flying down at Northam, so this race is not easy. It's not easy at all, and there's value elsewhere if you're looking outside of Sydney. But I'm on Sydney. I think it's going to be ready for this. It's going to need a bit of luck, but could be an exciting watch and one that I want to watch ahead of Saturday's Winter Cup heats.
Sydney or the bush for Troy tonight?
Maybe we can relive the old Olympic announcement.
The winner is-
The winner is Sydney.
Beautifully done, Troy. We'll see. Race 5 tonight. Well, I'm heading towards race 8, Troy. The dog jumping out of box 2 here, West on Menace, a greyhound that's
Named after you.
my name's not just. The greyhound is in really good touch at the moment. It's one that's past couple. I don't believe that he needs to lead to win this one, but he should put himself right in it from this draw and let his strength do the rest. So I'm on Just a Menace tonight. Yes, there's a dog, Kenya Redline, out in the cheap seats, which is a threat, but I think West on Just a Menace will be off and gone and winning this one. Race 8, number 2, Troy. What?
I got nothing. I was going to ask if the dog's name is Dennis, but we've already done that one on the other platform. So, yeah, we'll move on.
We'll move on. All right, good
luck
stuff.
to both tips.
Indeed. Let's hopefully we can get up. That's tonight at Cannington. Plenty of good racing ahead of us, Troy, including these heats of the Winter Cup at Cannington on Saturday night. Hopefully you can get down the track and enjoy it, but either way, you'll be able to catch us next week on the Wednesday preview.